Hey gang, today we are going to get out of town, literally, well, figuratively, I'm still in a room, but we're going to look outside of town at what I'm calling the best mountain towns near Denver. So what we're talking about here is the towns in the foothills. These are all going to be an hour max drive from downtown Denver, and what I believe are some of the most desirable places to be or to live in the foothills just to the west of town. If you don't know, if you're from out of town, Denver is not actually in the mountains, it's in the plains and right up against the mountains, and the foothills is where the Rocky Mountains start. So if you want to live that Colorado life, but still be close to town, still be in or near civilization, the foothills is a great area to target. A lot of people like that. They like the convenience of getting to town, being close, but also being that true mountain lifestyle. So then they'll say, well, okay, where specifically do we live in the foothills? That's a big thing. So here is my list of the best places, and I'm going to give you 6 of them. Real quick caveat before we go. Those of you who have been around know I'm a Denver realtor licensed in the entire state of Colorado. Would love to help you with anything you have in terms of real estate needs. Buying, selling, just have a conversation. Call me. Give me a call. My information's below as always. So we're going to do this a little differently from normal. We're going to do this map style. So I'm just cracking open the Google Maps here and going to roam around and show you where exactly all these places are. Because, maybe, again, you're from out of town or you just don't know the foothills that well. This can give you an exact look at this is where this is in relation to Denver and in relation to everything else. So let me know what you think, whether you like this version or whether you like it more where I'm just facing the camera, then overlaying it with some other things. So here we go. Here's Denver. Here's the Denver Metro. This is kind of the metro area here. As you can see, once it gets green over here, Ralston Valley, that's not what we want. Once it gets green over here, that's where the foothills start. So my list, like I said, I'm going to give you 6 of them. Number 6 is Idaho Springs. So, if you've ever taken a drive to Summit County, Eagle County, whatever, to go skiing or just go hiking or just drive around, you've gone through Idaho Springs. So if you take I-70 west, you'll run into Idaho Springs, about 40 minutes west of town, making 30 if you go pretty fast, and there's no traffic. But Idaho Springs, it's a good place. It's a thoroughfare. There's basically between Denver and Silverthorne, the most bustling area will be Idaho Springs. So there's a lot going on. There's a nice little downtown area. It's got the first Bojo's Pizza was there. That's still a thing. It's got a nice brew pub, Tommy Knocker. A lot to do as far as foothills mountain towns go. And it's got that mountain vibe. It feels very nice. It's a great place to visit. There is some interesting real estate located there to rent or to buy. A lot of it's actually in the hills. It does have a little downtown area, but a lot of it's in the surrounding Idaho Springs area. Some of town can get a little run down. It's an old mining town and it's still, being revitalized and that type of thing. But Idaho Springs, it's a good place to be. My second place, so let's go back. All right, going back east to Denver. My second town is Nederland. So first of all, Boulder, Colorado, not on this list because I don't consider it a foothills town. It's up against the foothills, but it's its own thing. It's like when people say Texas is the South. It's like, well, technically it's in the South, but it's not the South. It's Texas. It's its own thing. Boulder, it's its own thing. Okay, completely own thing. So we're not talking about it. But west of Boulder is Nederland, and we will talk about that. So if you go northwest of town, you got this beautiful, weird place, Boulder, Colorado. Love it there. I've spoken about that at length. And then if you take Canyon Drive, aka 119, up along the Boulder Creek, a beautiful scenic drive, you will eventually crest the overpass the reservoir and come to Nederland. Nederland is it's like a more secluded, lesser known, less pretentious, slightly weirder Boulder, Colorado. Yeah, all that stuff. It is a great place to spend a day if you want to just be with some of the coolest people on earth. It's almost like I used to live in Alaska for a very short time. It's almost like that up there. It's kind of a well-kept secret. It's its own community. It's great. Netherlands great. So there is a little downtown. There's a ton of hiking around there. You can get up to skiing up at Echo Mountain, and there's Eldora right up above Netherlands. So, there's things to do. And I really love it to visit. Living there is going to be a commitment. You're going to really want to have to love and live that lifestyle. If it snows and you're trying to get somewhere, that's going to be tough. But you're still within probably an hour of Denver, and very close to Boulder, within 20-minute drive, really. So that's Netherlands. If you want to check it out, it's worth checking out their downtown, hitting up a bar or a sandwich shop or place to eat. There's not a lot, but there's a few places. And Netherlands, it's a trip. So that's number 5. Number 4, we are counting down, is Conifer. We're going back to I-70. And west of town, just where we went to Idaho Springs, instead of going all the way to Idaho Springs, we are going to, you can take 70 and go south, or you can actually take 285 from 470 and go down to Conifer here. Conifer, great town. It is kind of a combination, kind of a cross between Nederland and Idaho Springs. It's totally its own thing, but it's off the beaten path a little bit. It's still close enough to Denver that people know what it is, but it's quiet. It's nice. There's Aspen Park, which kind of gets folded into Conifer, what that is too, but it's off 285, so you're not on 70, you're on 285, so it's a less stressful drive. It's a less busy drive most of the time to town, and then going all the way to Salida or Buena Vista or something like that if you keep taking 285 all the way to southwest Colorado. So Conifer, it's quiet. There's some great houses there. As far as real estate goes, this is probably the best place that we've looked at so far. Great places to buy land, an acre, 2 acres, all over these places. You can live the Colorado lifestyle, still be close to town. And that's what we're doing. Conifer. If you're like, I want to be in the foothills, I don't want it to be too weird, Conifer, check it out. Call me. I'll help you check it out. We'll know where to look, okay? We'll look in the right places. Conifer, that's it. My next one, you will know if you are a Colorado resident, Morrison. Now, like I said, I'm not doing Boulder because it's not technically in the foothills. I'm not talking about Golden. Golden, its own thing too. Morrison could be in that category, but it really does span up west into the foothills, into some of these hiking areas. And Red Rocks is in Morrison. That's the main attraction. It's got a nice little downtown, but Red Rocks is by its nature, barely, but it is in the foothills. So I'm counting Morrison. So I buried the lead. Red Rocks that's the main thing in Morrison. It's a small town. Some of it is a bit older. There's not as much going on, but as far as access to Denver, you have great access to Denver. I mean, you're 10 minutes from Lakewood. You're 5 minutes from Golden in some areas. Lots of good hiking trails, lots to do. It's a great nexus between the Denver Metro and the foothills. That's Morrison. Small town. You're not going to find a lot for sale or for rent in Morrison, but there are things. And if you're interested, it's worth including in your search. That is number 3. Number 2, as we go, I'm going to go kind of off the beaten path here. But remember, we went to Boulder. We're going northwest of Boulder. We're going way the heck up to Estes Park. Now, if you visited Colorado, there's a chance you've been to Estes Park for a few reasons. Okay, one thing that separates Estes Park from a lot of these other towns, it's not a gateway to any of the major skiing areas. It's kind of up on its own. You can get to skiing areas from there, but it's tough. It's a battle. You don't go to Estes Park to be near skiing. You do go for a number of reasons. One, it's on the footstep of Rocky Mountain National Park, which you'll see right here. There's the entrance. I mean, Rocky Mountain National Park is huge. It's all of these peaks, things like that, and all the way basically down into Grand Lake. This is kind of the boundary. But Estes Park is beautiful. It's right on the doorstep. It's kind of your entry point, your main entry point to Rocky Mountain National Park. And then additionally, the Stanley Hotel. Stanley Hotel, very famous for a few reasons. Number one, it was the inspiration for the book, which became the film, The Shining. It was not filmed there. And contrary to popular belief, Stephen King did not live there when he wrote it, but he did live in Boulder, and he did go to the Stanley Hotel and said, this would be an interesting place for a man who goes crazy and tries to kill his family. So that's where that comes from. And also, Dumb and Dumber. When they got to Aspen, the hotel they were at, that was shot at the Stanley Hotel. So not in Aspen. It's in Estes Park. Estes Park, beautiful town. There's a lot of tourism, so a lot of shopping and a good amount of dining, not a ton, but for a mountain town, a good amount. And elk. The elk in Estes Park kind of overrun the place. They're just used to people. They don't care. If you're not going to get too far in the wilderness, it's the best way to see the elk in Colorado. They'll come through in herds and bugle and do the whole thing. They'll just be going through neighborhoods. It's amazing. And it's a great day trip, if nothing else, because it's a beautiful drive up there. You can see some elk. You can have a burger or a sandwich, go to the Stanley, have a drink at the bar there. Great time. Totally worth it. Estes Park, love it. And getting to number one, my number one Foothills town. This is kind of an easy one because of a lot of things, but it's Evergreen, Colorado. Again, take I-70 west, get to Evergreen, and it's really the quintessential Denver Foothills location. Close enough to town, really a half hour from town without traffic. It's got a beautiful lake where you can go paddle boarding. You can go kayaking, you can go fishing. It's just got a lot going on. There's places to stay. There's a ton of hiking. There are plenty of real estate options, from luxury real estate to much more modest real estate. You can get houses that are in town with just a little bit of space. You can get acreages. Evergreen really has everything. And when I was looking at this list, I'm like, yeah, Evergreen, there's no way it's not the number one Foothills destination. It's a place I considered living for a while. We ended up staying in Denver, but it's really got a lot going for it, and it's going to continue to grow. So it's a good investment, too, if you're considering that when buying real estate, which you, of course, should be. That's it, guys. Those are my favorite places to live or just to visit in the Denver Foothills. Hopefully this was helpful so you can kind of see where everything is and get an idea of what it has to offer. If I can do anything for you, please reach out, text me, call me, email me, whatever. That's why I'm here. That's why I do these videos, is to help you guys with real estate questions and the like. So love to hear from you. And thanks to everybody who's already reached out. Thank you for watching this video. I love you. I do. And if nothing else, we will talk soon.